Well, good morning and welcome to Matt Bayeski YouTube channel. What an interesting topic last night was with, believe it or not, 2 or 3 of my friends. It always happens this way, always. I get messages through or people speaking to me about a certain subject, which is very interesting. That leads me then to be able to talk about a certain subject or something that is ultimately holding us back or keeping us frozen. The subject is commitment. Now, do I believe in commitment? I certainly do. That's my definite foundation of everything, commitment. Right, so now you know that. What is commitment? Is there such thing as committing yourself to something that will cause harm? Well, that's an interesting subject in itself, so shall we tackle that? Okay, commitment. We, as a girl, growing up, we get dolls and we dress the dolls up in a white dress and we get Ken and we put them together and we get them married and they have a nice house or a nice horse and we dream of a white wedding, okay? Here's one example. So then what happens is we get older and we meet somebody and our programming, our thoughts, our what we believe are dreams are coming true now because now we follow suit like everybody else follows suit, which is like I did. I got married and I'm at the foot of the priest and the priest then starts talking about vows. Commitments over one another. Through better or through worse, through richer or through poorer, and all that, we stay together. And true to form, Mr. Bayeski did that. Mr. Bayeski did it in his first life with his first wife, and then he did it with his second wife. And true to form, 20 years, never let either of them down. Never cheated, never looked or never thought about wanting to be with anybody else. Just stayed with that one person. Now, Mark, good boy. Well done, you. Yeah, right. Okay, cool. Would you turn the clock back and do something different? No, I wouldn't. Because I needed to experience that to speak to you guys now and explain why I feel the change is within me and what I want to do next. Because it is part of a journey. And the journey is all experiences, not just one. Remember, nothing is right or wrong, it is only experience. So, commitment time comes and we've made our vows and now all of a sudden we live with this person. All of a sudden this person after 2 or 3 years starts to get on our nerves really bad. They start to do things and start to say things that all of a sudden they've changed. They're not the same person. Okay, I'm not talking about me and my partners or my partners and me. I'm talking about general, okay? And then things start to happen that you feel all of a sudden that you are not the same person that you once were, or that your partner isn't the same person, or that you are now not walking the same path together because you may have grown spiritually and they're still down there, as is how you would put it if you felt that you were up there. That's an ego thing. But on general terms, that we are on different paths. That's how I look at it. Okay, so what happens next? Do we sit down and talk about it and try and work it out? Do we try and understand each other? Do we try and accept each other? Do we try and become equal again and walk the same path? All interesting questions. Or do we take what is considered to be the easy route and that you are weak and that you've left the relationship and, all the things that are attached to these things deliberately to make you feel bad, okay? So you don't go. See, all of these things to me, when I look past all of these things, I realize that we complicate our life. Have you ever heard that said? Everything that we do, we complicate it. But I don't actually believe that we complicate it. I believe that there is a bigger force at work that complicates everything deliberately. See, everything that we think we know is not what we know. Everything that we've been led to believe is not really truly what we're led to believe. I've come to understand that everything's inside out. Everything's back to front. We've got everything the wrong way around. And yet we are so imprisoned by those very fears and manipulations that are forced upon us daily by what's called the society we live in. So, commitment. Okay, so here I am now. Okay? And perhaps I meet somebody. And perhaps having experienced the fact that I was very much committed in a relationship and true to my word, kept my word and my vows. So I'm not saying this because of any other reason that I see it the other way around. Now, if I would have cheated and done things, you might have then said to me, well, that's why he's talking about this now. But no, I didn't. So it isn't about that. It's about experiencing and understanding and feeling and progressing on your own spiritual path and journey. So now, an interesting topic of conversation was, well, Mark, what are you going to do next? Who are you going to be with? And are you going to get married? And are you going to commit? Now, many people have sent me a message in these few hours saying the same thing, that they want to know what marriage means to me, what is commitment, and how should I move forward in a relationship. So this is why I'm making this video. If we simplify everything down on two people who just happen to meet, okay, synchronicity, and all of a sudden there is a bond, there is something very unique about you and this person that you feel something for, okay? So now all of a sudden your feelings are becoming stronger, the connection is becoming stronger, whether you feel it's a past life thing or whether you feel it's just that you feel something for them. And all of a sudden now what happens is something kicks in, which is the mind. And what the mind does, it tries to entrap or it tries to hold on to something because it feels that that's what we should do. A bit like if we see something nice, we want it. And the goals and dreams, and we run towards it, and nothing else matters. So that said as well, we suppress our true self when we do that. We push ourselves aside, which is a dangerous thing, but that's another story. So now we're starting to have these feelings about maybe somebody that we feel something for. The next stage then, what happens is that it's a psychological thing, I think. People start to then want answers and they want to know what next, because they're fearful of a future now without the feelings that they're getting for a certain person, and they don't want to lose that. So it's a bit like the greed energy. I want it, it's mine, and nobody else is having it. Again, very dangerous. And you see all of these feelings, all of these situations that you put yourself through, predominantly is fear-based. Sorry to say, you're going to hate me for it, but it's true. It isn't about two people committing. It's about fear of losing something that you no longer may not have again. And this very clever manipulation tries to make us commit, or the vows. So Mark, what is true love? Well, I believe now, having experienced 27 years of being committed, and now somebody who's walking a path who is now flowing, I believe true love is something that you hold inside you that is ultimately trust. Complete and utter trust. Not just for yourself, because you already know your trust, you already know your inner truth, but for somebody else that you have feelings for. Now, work that one out if you can. Right. Well, first of all, we have now proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that marriage doesn't always work. It does for some, but not for everybody. Why is that? Because even after a commitment, something goes wrong, and there is a back door anyway. So you're going to go out of that back door whether you've made a commitment or not. It's proven already. So we know that doesn't work. A lot of the times we are so committed to something that we miss a lot of the things along our journey as well. But that's another story. Let's try and look at this out of the bubble, out of this commitment bubble. Step out of it and take a look and see the bigger picture. This is how I now base my life. When there is a connection with somebody, I believe that connection is of the moment. And that moment is to be cherished and loved in the moment. It is not a moment that you would expect anything of or after. Therefore, you would simply say thank you and move forward. And the move forward would be your move forward, not together, but your move forward. And what that means is that if you happen to come back again and carry on a journey of that moment, then you walk side by side and enjoy the walk, but always having your own umbrella, if you understand what I mean. I'm going to give you an example, okay? Relationships is very similar to partnerships in business. And I've often told people, be careful of business partnerships. And people have said, well, what should I do? And I've always said, be true to yourself. Believe in yourself. And don't fear the other person by saying, I need you to be who I am. In that way, what you are creating is you and your free self to choose to do what is right, so you do not fear once you've got entrapped in this partnership energy that you cannot break free, or at least then you're having fears and worries. So what I've always suggested is, if you're coming together in business with somebody else, why don't you merge together but hold your umbrella each, okay, and walk along a path together, but never become a business. Be your business, be you, and let them be them, but come together and use your greatest assets and your greatest powers together to make something amazing, but don't be engulfed into one. Be separate all the time, and by doing that, you stay true to who you are. That means that that person is them, and you respect that. You are you, and you respect that. And together, no matter what happens, you can always say, look, it's been wonderful. We've had a great partnership together, but now I feel I need to head off in that direction because I'm feeling the pull to do this. And the other person says, well, that's fine, you know, and I'm going to continue doing that or do something else. If your partnership falls out because you're under one umbrella and you have to now split everything, then it becomes complicated. You see, we complicate things that then cause the problem. So a bit like a relationship, if you say, hey, you are you, and I'm the beautiful me, and you're the beautiful you, and when we come together, we don't want anything from each other, but yet we bring together our love, our power, our happiness together to walk a path, not wanting anything from each other, only to just love each other for the time and enjoy each other for the time, for whatever time that lasts. And I am not saying it's not going to last. Don't get me wrong. I'm trying to help you see differently. Then you're not enslaved into this energy of fear that you think, oh, I need to get married. I need this from you. I need a commitment from you. And all of these things, in truth, all of these fear things are because you're frightened of losing the other person. And thus what happens is you live in fear all the time. And then when you get this commitment from them, who says that commitment's going to last? I committed because I'm that kind of person if I commit. But I am not committing again because I want to learn how to walk a path and be committed in my own way without having to say I'm committed. To just simply trust and flow in the flow of life and enjoy every moment and be a free soul to find his true inner journey and path without having blocks or obstacles, which I call vows, which I call commitments. I am equally committed to anything when I put my heart and soul into it. The difference is, my dear friends, that I do not choose to commit because somebody tells me to, or because I put a date on it or a time on it, or to say this is who I am and what I'm going to be. My dear friends, commitment is just a word, and words are cheap. At the end of the day, what really matters is you and what you do in your life. Actions speak far louder than commitments. If you're true to yourself, why would you even need to commit to anything? Because you know who you are. You know deep inside that you're committed anyway to whatever you do. So, this is how I walk a path now. And I often see many people over this decade come to me who get the big fancy weddings, who have spent literally 30, 50, 60, 100,000 on weddings because their mothers and fathers have dreamed about their little daughter having this wedding. And I've seen the suffering of that daughter when she finds out that their path together no longer works, whether it's been 1 week after or 10 years after, and then they're leaving the suffering of all the pain that, the wedding cost so much money and I feel so guilty now that I can't leave, and things like that. Far more than that, but things like that. The commitment that we made to somebody, and then all of a sudden you find out that this man is abusive and he drinks perhaps and never told you, or slaps you, or these things, and yet we are committed because we've made a commitment. So today, dear friends, you ask me what commitment is, I'll tell you what it is. If you are kind to me today, I commit myself to you in that moment with love. And if you are unkind to me, that commitment disappears because of your lack of respect, of love for me. How I treat you is how I expect to be treated back. How I love you is how I expect to be loved back. And if I am not loved back, then it's nobody's fault, it just is. But it is certainly an indication for me to move forward with love and let you go. So that's it really. I cannot make somebody love me. You can't make somebody love them. All you can do is be yourself and be true to that. And in that way, if you do happen to find love with somebody, then you will be with them if you are true and you are pure and you are meant to be together. And the bigger picture is that you may have agreed to come into somebody's life to walk with them for 6 months and then to learn whatever it is you needed to learn from one another and then move forward onto another relationship. Or you may come together with somebody and, like a seahorse, flow along the rest of your life together in love and balance. There is no wrong or right. You cannot measure love to the amount of time you spend together with somebody. It is simply life, and we have to accept everything as it comes. From my heart to yours, guys, I love you all, and I hope I haven't upset anybody. There are fears in the world that are attached to us daily, and when we hear people saying things and it brings out fear into us, or anger and aggression, like myself, I always look at why I felt that way, and I normally find the answer in myself, that I need to strengthen something, or that something has made me weak because of what I've learned. So now I have to unlearn those things. It's just my journey. It's just my path. It's just my understanding. From my heart to yours, I love you all. Have a great day, guys, and thank you for subscribing to Mark Bajerski YouTube channel. The videos are getting a little bit heavier now and a little bit deeper, but hey ho, it's part of life and it's my journey, and I share that with you today. And let's get deep. Isn't it time? It's 2018 soon. I believe it's the year for us to go deep and look within. Love you all. Take care, guys. I do love you all, from my heart to yours. Even if you hate me on this video, I still love you.